Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. So, as I said over the weekend, I was probably going to get Janeway, and I did. So, time for the testing. Alright, let's go over what she does. Captain ability, whenever you take hull damage. It's key whenever you take hull damage from a non-player, hostile, or armada. Captain Janeway increases your shield mitigation by 13% for 1 round. Cumulative. So I'll be hitting freebooters, as I so frequently do. It is like the new hostile. Plus, the Delta Quadrant hostiles have similar firing patterns. So freebooters hit you what? 4 with 4 weapons. So first weapon you won't have Janeway's ability, but you're going to take hull damage, so you'll have it for the second shot. And it'll be stacked again for the third shot. But then you'll be up to higher than, because right now it's 80-20, right? For your shield mitigation or shield absorption, I like to say. Because your shields do take it. It doesn't just magically go away. But however, it's 80-20, so this will boost it up to 100%. So assuming your shields survive, you have enough shield health, you won't take hull damage. Therefore, you wouldn't be able to get it to proc for the second round, say with the last shot of a round. It wouldn't carry over because it wouldn't activate in the next round. Her officer ability is about this isolated damage. Not really going to worry about that too much, mainly because Ultimate DJs was focusing on that last night in his Twitch stream. Pretty much covered it. And it's fairly simple. It's just extra damage. Another reason why I'm not really going to cover it is because all these hostiles aren't mitigating it yet. We assume they're not mitigating the isolated damage because it's a relatively new mechanic and the developers are getting us used to it. Now, as you can see, the 13%, it's in green. So Janeway is boosted by 7% because of synergy with the Doctor. And you know what the Doctor does. I need mitigation, or I want regular mitigation. So the Doctor's on here. I think he works real well for freebooters. Gorkon for hull breach. And my standard lower deck, when I'm testing out against freebooters. I got Tendi. You always want Tendi. And Hugh. So let's send a Pilum to the system. Now I chose Gorkon because I have high critical damage. As you can see here, 320%. Now when you hull breach an opponent, hull breach multiplies your crit damage by 1.5. Originally, when we were talking about it, and I'm saying years ago, we have learned since then that we heard it was a 50% increase, or so we were just thinking, oh, it adds 50%. Well, that's not true. It is a multiplier, so it does multiply by 1.5. So I think Gorkon and Hull Breach, if you want to use Lorca, go ahead and use Lorca. I think that's going to work better because unlike the new Beverly, adding crit damage every time you're hit, you got to get hit first. And then it slowly builds up to what Hull Breach would. Will it eventually overtake it? Sure. If Beverly gets shot enough times, yes, she will increase your crit damage by more than what Hull Breach will, but it will take time to build that up. At higher tiers, she might be better for you if you have lower crit damage, Beverly may be working better for you than Gorkon. Alright, are we almost there yet? I do have my note card ready to go. I have done some research that makes the pilum here a little bigger, but it's not a huge deal, I don't think. 33.8, it's not too much bigger, so remember that, 33.8, and let's hit this 53, see how much we lose. About 1 million. Call it 1.05. Which is a little better than Tau. Mostly because my shields are big enough to be able to take the damage that they're doing to me. Alright, so 32.8. Let's hit it 54. And to a certain extent, Janeway's officer ability is helping you because you are gaining more damage. It's not a whole lot, but it's there. What was I at? 32 point... Well, shit. What was I at? I want to say 32. It was 32.8, right? Yeah, so 32.8 down to, what was that? 31.5. So about 1.3. That's very good. Now, I mean, you look at that. I took a lot of shield damage. A lot. So, remember that. You're going to take shield damage, so make sure your shields can take it. But we have had some practice with this. Take new Pike. That's not the button I wanted to do. New Pike does really the same thing, except he's not cumulative. So 31.5. Let's hit this battleship again. Just so we're not going based off of one hostile, you know? $30.2. That's fairly consistent. And yes, these aren't exact numbers, but fairly consistent. Actually, I'm kind of curious how much shield. How much shield did I lose on that one? About the same. So it is relatively the same. What was that? 30.2. It's 29.4. So that was almost 600,000. Really? Am I reading that right? No. Yes. 800,000? That was... Well, that's why we hit more than one hostile. 30.2. Almost 30.3. Yeah, I mean, that's approximately 800,000. Okay. All right, let's just hit another one just to see. 29.4. 29.4. There's another 800,000. Okay. It's got me curious. I want to hit another 54 battleship again. Because that actually went down from the first one, didn't it? This was the first one I hit. 32.8. Yeah, I mean, that was about 1 million. All right, what am I at? 28.6. So it's 28.6 to 27.3. So 1.3 again. Slightly odd. Alright. Just because I did it the last time, let's hit some interceptors. So 27.3. I'm not going to hit many interceptors, but a few. Oh shit, what was that? 27.3? Does that sound right? I don't even remember. Yeah, 27.3. $2.3. That's interesting. Because that was actually worse. Yeah, 27.3 down to 20, about 25. Yeah, it's 2.3. That's actually not better than Tau, which is odd. Okay. Okay, let's go 25 million. I'll hit it again. That's odd. So approximately 2.1. Sound about right? Yeah, 2.1. So 53 interceptor. That is fairly odd. Because from the numbers I have of 5 Tau Giorgio, it was down to like 1.5, 1.6. This is consistently over 2. It's disappointing. 2.8, 2. Call it 2.9. Okay. Okay. Partly that's the piercing. You are relying on... I mean, that's not even worth writing down. That's over 10 million. Well, and I will take a screenshot and post the new note card in the video. Now, oh, I'm really thirsty today. Part of why she's not doing as well against interceptors is because you are relying on your damage of your ship. As opposed to Tau, you're relying on Tau taking away hull health. Well, now you're relying on your damage, and you don't have the piercing, so therefore the freebooters are mitigating more. The battleships aren't going to, mitigate an interceptor as well as, interceptor on interceptor. So Janeway's doing very good if you're staying in the triangle. Going outside the triangle, not as good as Tau. So, at least as far as freebooters go, it's going to be up to you and how you want to tweak your crew and whatnot. If you're going to stay in the triangle, you can absolutely use Janeway, Doctor, and either Gorkon or Beverly, however you choose. But if you go to a crowded system and you can't always find your triangle advantage, suggest maybe sticking with Tau. But actually, let's take a look at the isolytic damage. Just to cover isolytic damage a little bit. And, well, I guess show you the battle log as of what actually is going on here. You see, first hit, yes, it's critical, but they're relatively the same size. 116,000 shield health here. And you can see 61,000 again. The next shot. Does take... Well, that's kind of puzzling. I guess before I want to get in my summary, I should look at the battle log. That's not right. Okay, I mean, you definitely see her activating once here because you're taking 116,000. Not mitigating much. But you can see the hull damage. Definitely going down between, because you see 116,000 and 28,000, and then you see 61,000 and 4,000. But if I understand this correctly, she popped again. Oh, there it goes. Shield damage. Okay. Whew. Looking at the wrong numbers here. 0 hull damage. So there you go. Looking at something weird there for a second. But you can see 0 hull damage. 0, 0, 0, 0. 0 hull damage. Potentially, if you were taking hull damage with this last shot, she would then proc here, but that isn't the case. But you can see how you're taking all these shots at the end of the round here. None of them are hitting your hull. So that's very good. So, one shot. Actually, you have it already here. This one and 2. And then it's all going to shields. So by the time the freebooter starts unloading on you with 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. I thought it was 8. However, 7 shots. They're all going to your shields. Instead of, this weapon getting hit by all these shots early and some of it going in the hole. So luckily, these are getting counted first, the single shot ones. All right. It's enough out of me. And you can see here 5.8 million critical hit. The isolated damage with Janeway's Captain ability, 5.8. So, cool. Everything's working. She looks pretty good to me. Comment below. What do you think about Janeway if you got her? To me, it looks like she's going to be very useful, especially taking down the newer hostiles. The older hostiles that only shoot once or twice a round, I don't think so. But freebooters, Delta Quadrant hostiles, sounds like she's your girl. Where was I at? Oh, shit. I even forgot where I was at. Comment below. How do you like Janeway? Wow. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.